Alright, so somebody was asking for a how-to video on Hey Joe. I did my own version of this. In my version, I put the capo on the 2nd fret, but for the tutorial, I'll just do it without a capo, and if you do use a capo, just move everything up 2 frets. So, start with the intro. So we're playing the E string and the B string, and with my middle finger I'm going on the B string from the 3rd fret sliding up to the 5th, and I'm hitting the E string at the same time, and then sliding down to the 3rd fret and pull off to the B. So try it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. So that's the first part, and then the next little part is, so I'm on the G and I'm doing hammer on, pull off, 0 to 0, and then 2nd fret on the D string. So it's just a quick little, so if you put those two together, it goes like this. And then lastly, you just hit the low E string. So try it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so that's the first part. Next part is gonna be this. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my hand in the shape of an E chord, so that's middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then first finger on the 1st fret of the G. And what I'm doing is I'm just plucking the A and D string and then sliding those fingers up to the 7th fret, but keeping my hand in the E chord formation. And then when I get up to the 7th fret with my middle and ring finger on the 7th fret, that's when I play the whole chord with the open E, B, and high E together. So sliding up, and then I just slide that chord formation down 2 frets and then back to the E. So it sounds like this when you put them together. So try it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and during that, with the right hand, I'm just doing kind of an up, down stroke. Okay, so when we put it all together, this is the whole intro. Actually, there's one more part, so I'll just play through it once up to that point. So. And then the last part of the intro, I'm going to go ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string and slide up to the 4th fret, and then hit the 3rd fret on the B string. And then just kind of strum these 4 strings here, D, G, B, E strings. So, okay, so from the E chord section, it's okay. All right, so now we're going into the actual section where the singing would start. I'm just doing instrumental. So actually I do this without a pick. So first chord is a C chord, down to a kind of a G. So we've got our C chord, and we just, using your thumb and your first finger, you're gonna pluck the first 2 notes of the C chord, first 3 notes, and then use your first finger to pluck that C, which is 1st fret on the B string. So, and then your thumb goes down to the 3rd fret of the low E string. So, and then your first finger of your right hand plucks the open B, while your thumb plucks the 2nd fret on the A string when you go down. So it looks like, okay, and then your thumb is gonna go, so you're just doing these 3 strings, the low E, the A string and the D string, and then back to the A. And your left hand, you've got ring finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then it's an open D. So we're going. Try it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Next part, we're gonna slide up. So. This is, we're sliding up with our middle finger to the 5th fret of the A string and first finger to the 4th fret of the D string, and then you have an open G. Okay, and you're just doing 1, 2, 3. So again. So this chord is going to be your middle fingers on the 5th fret of the low E string. First finger is on the 4th fret of the A string, and your pinky is on the 5th fret of the D string, and then you've got an open G. So you're just going to strum these 4 strings. So you'll go these 3 strings actually, and then back and forth with the open G and your pinky note. And I use my first finger on the G. So back to the C chord. So it's like this. Hey Joe, where you going with that? And then this part in your hand. So this is middle finger and ring finger on the 5th fret of the A and D string, sliding down into an E chord formation. So, and then your thumb, after you slide down, thumb hits the low E string, and then you strum the whole chord. So from this chord, try it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. And then you go up to this little riff. You slide your ring finger on the D string all the way up to the 9th fret, and then first finger to the 7th fret on the G. So you're gonna go 9, 7, 9, 7, and you're just going, letting all the strings ring out from the E chord. So, and then strum an E chord again. So from this interesting, it's like an A7 chord. And then I do a little hammer on the E chord, so that's just open A, hammer on to the 2nd fret, open D, hammer on. Okay? So, you basically do all that same thing one more time. So from the intro, I'll just play through it. So starting with the intro. Okay, and then you repeat the sequence starting from the C chord again. And then here's where it changes. Instead of doing the hammer-on thing, we're gonna go up here. So do this little riff. So I'm on middle finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and I bend, and then ring finger to the 10th fret on the high E string. And then I pull off on the B string to the 8th fret. And then I go down here to the G string. And we're going 9th fret, 7th fret, and then hammer back on. And actually I'm doing that with my ring finger. And that's important because for the next section I'm gonna need my middle finger ready. So the riff, one more time, goes like this. Alright, next part. I'll just play the section first. It goes like this. Okay, so after the riff, we've got middle finger on the 8th fret of the low E string, and then our first finger on the 7th fret of the A string, and then we pluck the open G, and that all those things are with our thumb, and then our first finger plucks the high E, so. Come down and middle finger plays the 3rd fret on the low E string, and then you're gonna do this with your thumb. So just plucking these 3 strings here. And when you get to the 2nd note in this sequence, so that's 2nd fret on the A string, you're gonna play the 3rd fret on the B string with your ring finger. So from the riff, okay, and then we do this part again from the last section. And then we're gonna go to this chord. So it's very similar to the A chord we did in the first section, but your pinky's actually gonna be on the 4th fret of the G string. And you're gonna use your thumb and your first finger to go back and forth between the G and the open B. Alright, so we're going to be plucking these 2 notes with our thumb and first finger. It's going to be 4th fret on the A string, 6th fret on the G string, and you slide down 2 frets. And then you just strum all the strings on the guitar. So, it sounds like... Alright, so after the riff, sliding up to 9th fret on the D string and 7th 7th fret on the G string, going back and forth. So let's try it from right after the riff. Together, 1, 2, ready, slow. And then for the next part, we're going to repeat this, but instead of plucking with your thumb and first finger, I'm actually going to imagine I'm holding a pick and just kind of and one thing that's different is instead of here playing the open G string, you're actually going to use your first finger to play the 7th fret on the G string. So you want to emphasize this note, this note, this note, and the open E. So, and then you're going to hit the low E 3rd fret and then emphasize the 3rd fret on the B string on that next chord, but you're strumming all the strings. So and then for this part, we're really just kind of strumming messy, hitting whatever open strings. You're just getting your hands in the formation of the chord and letting strings ring out. And then you're going to play this chord. That's the one we were doing before, but we're just hitting it all at once. So down, up, down, and then slide down. The sliding down 2 frets again with this octave formation. So we did the riff. We went through it one time. Strumming, so we're pretending we're holding a pick. Alright, and then next part, I do this little thing. It's all octaves. So I'm just keeping my fingers. You could do first finger and ring finger, or you could do first finger and pinky. You're just holding them 2 frets apart, and it's on the A string and the G string, starting with the 2nd and 4th fret. Slide up to the 5th and 7th. Slide up to the 9th and 11th. Slide back down to the 5th and 7th, and then up to the 7th and 9th. Going from where we started imagining we're using a pick. And then we're going into the very final section, but let's play that one more time together. 1, 2, ready, slow. This riff, oops, sorry. So I've got first finger is barring the 10th fret on the B and E string, and then ring finger is hammering on to the 12th fret. So you want to practice barring that and just hammering on the 12th fret of the B string. Thumb, first finger with your right hand. So thumb, hammer on, first finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it 4 times. So, oops. after that, the final section is this. Alright, so pretty straightforward chromatic stuff. So middle finger goes to the 8th fret on the low E string, and then open. 1, 2, 3. Up to the A string. 2, 3, 4. And then 5 and on the A string and 4 on the D string. And then you're going to do power chords with first finger on the 2nd fret of the E string and fourth ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string. Go up chromatic low. So counting from your first finger, it'd be 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. Jump up to the A and D string. You're gonna go again counting with your first finger, the 4th fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, and on those last 4, you let the strings ring out. So after this little hammer-on thing,